12 banned JDM cars too powerful for the streets. Welcome back, speed lovers. Today we're unlocking the dark side of Japan's car scene, where horsepower met handcuffs and brilliance got blacklisted. These are the machines that went so far beyond reason that regulators had to pull the plug. From street legends that scared officials to factory monsters that broke their own maker's limits, get ready for 12 JDM cars that were simply too powerful for the streets. 12. Toyota GT1 TS020. The Toyota GT1 was so powerful that the streets never stood a chance. It was built purely to meet Le Mans homologation rules, which required at least one street version of every race car. Toyota took that rule literally and created what was essentially a race car with a number plate. It packed a 3.6-liter twin-turbo V8 that delivered around 600 horsepower and could hit speeds over 230 miles per hour. The carbon fiber body generated so much downforce that it could stick to the ground like glue even at extreme speeds. When inspectors reviewed it, the craziest reason it was banned for road use in many countries was that it technically wasn't a road car at all. The interior lacked airbags, crash structures, and emissions compliance. Yet Toyota had registered one example by adding just turn signals, seat belts, and an air conditioner. It was an engineering loophole that became legend. Officials later rewrote racing rules to stop cars like it from ever being registered again. Only a couple of GT1 road cars exist, and they are locked away in Toyota's collection. The GT1 remains one of the most extreme examples of Japanese engineering gone too far. A car that was simply too powerful and too pure for public roads. 11. Mitsubishi Pajero Evolution. The Mitsubishi Pajero Evolution was a rally monster pretending to be a family SUV, and that is exactly why it scared regulators. Built to crush the Dakar Rally, it came with a 3.5-liter DOHC V6 engine that made 276 horsepower, the maximum allowed under Japan's horsepower agreement. Underneath, it hid double wishbone suspension, limited slip differentials on both axles, and a reinforced chassis that could take flight and land without breaking a sweat. It was basically a tank that thought it was a race car. The bizarre reason it got banned in several countries was its competition-based design. Customs authorities could not decide whether to treat it as a road car or a rally prototype. Its flared bodywork, widened track, and aggressive subframe geometry didn't match any certification standards, and Mitsubishi never provided the extensive safety data that civilian vehicles required. In short, it was too wild for paperwork to process. The Pajero Evolution ended up dominating Dakar, but was rejected by many regions for daily use. It became a legend of brute engineering, a car that broke rules by accident and expectations by design. 10. Honda NSX-R NA2. The Honda NSX-R was proof that perfection could still be improved. Taking the already iconic NSX, Honda's engineers stripped it down and rebuilt it with one goal: to make the purest driver's car possible. The NA2 version used a 3.2-liter V6 VTEC engine, producing 290 horsepower, but the real magic was in its weight reduction. Honda removed sound insulation, added carbon fiber panels, and fine-tuned every bolt by hand. The car weighed just 2,700 pounds and had razor-sharp handling that embarrassed supercars costing twice as much. The strange reason it was banned from several countries was its lack of compliance with modern safety equipment. It had no airbags in early versions, minimal crash padding, and a raw suspension setup that made it nearly impossible to pass road testing in stricter markets. Its ultra-light build, stiff chassis, and high-revving engine made it a track beast but a bureaucratic nightmare. Honda produced fewer than 150 units of the NA2 NSX-R, all for the Japanese domestic market. It was too uncompromising to export and too extreme for regulators. Yet it became one of the most collectible JDM cars ever made. The NSX-R proved that sometimes chasing purity means leaving the rulebook in the dust. 9. Nissan Silvia S15 Spec-R. The Nissan Silvia S15 Spec-R was the car that made authorities sweat. Beneath its modest coupe look sat a turbocharged 2-liter R390 GT engine that officially produced 250 horsepower, but tuners knew it made more. With a 6-speed manual transmission, a rear-wheel drive layout, and a helical limited slip differential, it handled like a wild animal waiting for an open road. Light, balanced, and endlessly tunable, it became the favorite weapon of drifters and street racers everywhere. That reputation is what got it banned. In countries like the United States and Australia, regulators decided the S15 was too unpredictable and too easy to modify for street use. It failed failed modern crash standards and emissions tests that were designed for slower, heavier cars. Many examples that slipped through imports were later seized or restricted, not because they were unsafe by design, but because they were too capable in the wrong hands. The S15 Spec-R was built to thrill, not to behave. It blurred the line between street car and track toy, and governments simply did not want to deal with something that fast, that agile, and that cheap. 8. Toyota Supra GT500 JZA80. The Toyota Supra GT500 was never meant for stoplights or traffic jams. It was Toyota's declaration of war on the racetrack, built for Japan's GT Championship and engineered to annihilate everything in its path. Beneath its wide aerodynamic shell lay a reworked 2-liter turbocharged inline-4 that produced close to 500 horsepower. The carbon fiber body panels, stripped-down cockpit, and track-tuned suspension made it a completely different creature from the road-going Supra. On the streets, it was a nightmare for regulators. It was not just fast, it was engineered for a world without speed limits. The GT500 had no emissions control system that met civilian requirements, no crash protection suitable for highways, and no comfort features that would make it remotely livable. Authorities refused to grant it registration because it did not qualify as a road variant under homologation rules. The car's aerodynamic design also created too much downforce at high speeds, which made it unstable and impractical for normal driving conditions. Only a handful of chassis ever existed outside the racetrack, and those were museum pieces or collector items. The Supra GT500 remains a monument to what happens when engineers stop listening to regulations and start listening to adrenaline. It was not just too powerful for the streets, it was a full-blown rebellion on wheels. 7. Nissan Pulsar GTI-R. The Nissan Pulsar GTI-R was proof that size means nothing when horsepower is involved. It looked like an average 3-door hatchback, but under its hood lived the mighty SR20D ET turbo engine, producing 227 horsepower and sending it through Nissan's ATTE SA all-wheel drive system. It weighed just over 2,600 pounds, meaning it had the heart of a rally car in the body of a grocery getter. The hood scoop and massive spoiler hinted that this was no mild commuter. Built to conquer Group A rally, the GTI-R became notorious for its explosive acceleration and savage torque steer. It was so wild that many called it Baby Godzilla. Yet when brought to the streets, it quickly became clear that this little beast was too unpredictable for daily life. The stiff suspension made city driving unbearable, and the turbo lag, followed by sudden bursts of power, startled even skilled drivers. In markets like Australia and the UK, import authorities deemed it unsafe for regular use due to inconsistent handling and structural rigidity that failed road compliance standards. The Pulsar GTI-R was banned not because it was poorly built, but because it was too aggressive for the rulebook. It was a car that refused to act its size, punching well above its weight and leaving regulators wondering how a hatchback could possibly cause that much chaos. 6. Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution 5. The Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution 5 was a turbocharged troublemaker dressed as a sedan. Under the hood sat the legendary 4G632-liter turbo engine, producing 276 horsepower on paper, though dyno tests told a very different story. This thing could outrun cars that cost twice as much. Mitsubishi widened the track, beefed up the suspension, and gave it Brembo brakes that could stop time itself. The car was engineered to dominate rally stages and embarrass supercars on the street. What made it too powerful for the street was not only its speed, but the way it delivered it. The Evo Fi's torque hit like a punch to the chest, and its all-wheel drive system gave ordinary drivers superhuman reflexes. That combination terrified regulators. In several countries, import authorities found it did not meet emission standards, and insurance companies wanted nothing to do with it. In the United Kingdom, early batches faced registration problems because Mitsubishi's performance tuning exceeded the specifications approved for road models. Some regions even labeled it a competition-derived vehicle that lacked the documentation required for everyday driving. The Evo 5 became the kind of car that laughed in the face of restraint. It was too sharp, too quick, and too eager to break records and rules alike. Governments saw danger where enthusiasts saw perfection. 5. Nissan R390 GT1. The Nissan R390 GT1 looked like it came straight from a video game that forgot about speed limits. Built to satisfy Le Mans homologation rules, it was essentially a full-blown race car pretending to be street legal. Under its long carbon fiber shell sat a 3.5-liter twin-turbo V8 that produced more than 550 horsepower and could push the car beyond 350 miles per hour. It was breathtakingly fast, brutally loud, and engineered with zero compromise. That lack of compromise is exactly why it was was banned from most public roads. The R390 failed emissions and safety standards everywhere outside Japan. It had no airbags, no proper crash structures, and an exhaust note that shattered decibel limits. Regulators classified it as a non-compliant prototype, meaning it could not be registered or insured for street use in almost any country. Even Japan restricted its operation to demonstration purposes only. Only one road-legal R390 was ever made. It was a car too fast for driveways, too rare for dealerships, and too powerful for the streets. 4. Mazda Eunos Cosmo 20B. The Mazda Eunos Cosmo 20B was the luxury spaceship of Japan's bubble era. It was the first production car to feature a built-in GPS and touchscreen system, but the real marvel was under the hood. It carried the world's only factory-made 3-rotor Wankel engine, the 20B REW, a 2-liter tri-rotor with twin turbos producing 300 horsepower. Smooth, powerful, and absurdly high revving, it delivered performance that felt otherworldly. Its downfall came from its ambition. The 20B engine produced emissions that baffled regulators, especially outside Japan. The triple rotor setup burned fuel like a small rocket, and the complex design made it almost impossible to modify for compliance. Many countries flatly refused to certify it for import because of the high hydrocarbon output. The car was also extremely expensive and produced in limited numbers, which made testing impractical for foreign markets. Fewer than 9,000 Eunos Cosmos were ever made, and the 20B versions were even rarer. It became a ghost of automotive excess, a car too advanced for its time and too indulgent for the rulebook. The Cosmo was Mazda's moonshot, brilliant, beautiful, and ultimately banned for being too bold. 3. Nissan Skyline GT-R 32. The Nissan Skyline GT-R 32 was not just a car. It was a technological uprising on 4 wheels. Under its sleek gray skin, it carried the RB26DETT 2.6-liter twin-turbo inline-6, producing 276 horsepower on paper. But dyno runs showed figures well above that. The Atessa ETS all-wheel drive system and the Super Hikus 4-wheel steering made it handle like it was wired into the pavement. In racing, it became so dominant that it earned the name Godzilla, a monster that devoured entire championships. That level of performance is exactly why it was banned in several countries. The R32 was considered too advanced and too unpredictable for road use. In the United States, strict import laws required emission certification and crash testing for every model, and the R32 never underwent either. It was labeled non-compliant, and many early imports were confiscated by customs. Some regions even refused to legalize it because its electronic systems were too complex to certify, and its top speed exceeded local limits for testing equipment. What made the R32 truly infamous was its habit of outperforming supercars that cost 5 times as much. It made regulators nervous and rivals furious. The world eventually caught up to its genius, but for years it was the outlaw king of Japanese performance. 2. Nissan Skyline GT-R R33. The Nissan Skyline GT-R R33 was the bridge between the raw brutality of the R32 and the precision engineering of the R34. It kept the RB26DETT twin-turbo engine and 276 horsepower rating, but introduced new technology that made it faster than its numbers suggested. The R33's longer wheelbase and improved aerodynamics gave it incredible stability at high speeds. It could lap the Nürburgring faster than many European supercars of its day, which was a serious problem for regulators trying to classify it as a normal production vehicle. When the R33 reached foreign shores, the paperwork chaos began. The United States and several European countries banned it for not meeting emissions and safety standards. Its complex electronics made compliance nearly impossible, and its top speed of over 155 miles per hour raised red flags for highway authorities. Some nations categorized it as a track-only vehicle because its performance exceeded limits for ordinary passenger cars. Even Japan kept a tight lid on its export numbers due to the car's aggressive tuning potential and difficulty in maintaining emissions consistency. The R33's crime was simple. It was too good for its class. It handled corners like it had secrets, accelerated like it wanted revenge, and turned every highway into a proving ground. For the regulators, that was one car too confident for comfort. 1. Nissan Skyline GT-R R34. The Nissan Skyline GT-R R34 was the car that rewrote what too fast meant. Powered by the RB26DETT 2.6-liter twin-turbo inline-6, it produced 276 horsepower on paper, but often pushed well beyond 320 in reality. The R34 combined that brutal power with razor-sharp control, Thanks to its Atisa ETS Pro all-wheel drive system and Super High-Cus rear steering. Add to that the advanced multifunction display on the dashboard, which showed real-time data like turbo pressure and oil temperature, and you had a car that made its driver feel like a pilot. The R34's ban in many countries came down to how over-engineered it was. In the United States, strict import laws required every car to meet federal crash and emission standards. Nissan never submitted the R34 for testing, and the advanced electronics were nearly impossible for inspectors to decode. Customs authorities seized imported models because they lacked the documentation needed to prove compliance. The car's potential for modification only made matters worse, since tuned R34s were known to exceed 500 horsepower with ease, making them uncontrollable on public roads. Its legend only grew from there. It became a dream car for enthusiasts and a nightmare for regulators. Every confiscated 34 Rand made it seem even more mythical. It was not just banned for being powerful, it was banned for making power look too easy. These weren't just cars, they were mechanical rebellions. Too much boost, too much spirit, and absolutely no patience for paperwork. Hit subscribe before your feed bans you too, and stay tuned for more stories that redline past reason.